So what if Apple's next generation of iPhones got more expensive, or sort of? As yes, we have new reports that show just how expensive it's become to make iPhones, and that could impact the future. Things are actually not painting a pretty picture for the Galaxy Z Fold6 when it comes to features for the price, and who is ready for a possible Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 making an appearance tomorrow. I'm Jaime Rivera, and listen, there is no better way to avoid a green screen than with a Mai Tai in Hawaii. This is Pocketnow Daily, sponsored by Qualcomm Technologies, Inc. The official news are actually happening tomorrow, but for now, let me give you a bit of a teaser. Yes, I just landed in Maui for Qualcomm Snapdragon Summit, and you know what that means. Set your calendars for tomorrow, October 24th at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, as the company's live stream begins, and I think we've covered enough rumors for you to know what to expect. So far, we're expecting an update to the already legendary Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. Like, seriously, if that chip was so good in power and insane battery life this year, I cannot imagine what to expect from the possible Gen 3. Another thing that we're expecting is hopefully an update to Snapdragon Compute. Remember the teaser we got last year of the company's new Orion CPU and how that's going to revolutionize the PC? Well, it might actually tie in with the change in naming scheme that we heard about 2 weeks ago with the Snapdragon X series. I'm hoping we get to see that. I'm also expecting updates from other essentials like Snapdragon Sound, gaming, and, well, I guess the company's digital chassis is already something I can talk about because, well, we just saw it on display at the lobby of the hotel in the new BMW i7. Follow the first link in the description to join the live stream tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, and stay tuned as we will be covering all of it throughout the week. Moving on, let's talk about Apple because, well, it seems like we finally have more of a clear launch date planned for the upcoming iPads. During the last few weeks, we have been getting a ton of reports about the new models, and some were even claiming that we could see the first ones arrive in a few weeks. However, now, according to a recent Power On newsletter by Mark Gurman, Apple is gearing up for an iPad refresh in the spring and has been actively working on an 11th generation iPad, 7th generation iPad mini, and 6th generation iPad Air. These new iPads are expected to debut in March with at least these three devices making an appearance. While the possibility of a next-generation iPad Pro is not ruled out, it appears that only the more minor updates for the iPad lineup are confirmed for spring at the moment. Gurman also predicts that the original Apple Pencil will likely be discontinued when the 9th-generation iPad is also phased out, as Apple will no longer be offering iPads with Lightning connectors at this point. However, this transition isn't expected to occur in the immediate future, so we'll see how that goes. Now let's talk about Samsung because we have some possible bad news for the next generation Z Fold models. Last week we talked about how Sammy has crazy sales goals for their upcoming foldables, and if you know that, you would expect them to add new attractive features and better hardware, but it seems like that will not be the case. According to a new report by Ice Universe, Samsung is apparently planning to reuse the 50 megapixel Samsung GN3 sensor for the Z Fold6's camera, which is the same one that we had on the Z Fold 5 and Z Fold 4. Right. After OnePlus with their Open and the Pixel Fold, that is not probably a good idea, at least from what we know. For context, the last time we had a different camera was on the Z Fold 3 with a 12 megapixel Sony IMX555. So yeah, for now, nothing new for the Z Fold. The only report we have for now from the Elect claims that Samsung is working on making the Z Fold 6 thinner to reduce the gap in thickness between its products and competitors. The report says that they might be studying Huawei's Mate X5 foldable for exploration, as it is a thinner device and also has a larger internal battery. To give you an idea, the Z Fold 6 measures 6.1 millimeters when unfolded and 13.4 millimeters when folded, while the Mate is thinner at 5.3 millimeters unfolded and 11.1 millimeters folded. Anyway, we're still months away from the launch, so there's plenty of time for the company to innovate. However, all of these new competitors and whatever they're doing are just a wake-up call, or at least I hope. Because, trust me, yes, thinner phones, that's all great, but people, when they pay that amount of money for a phone, want amazing cameras. And finally, for the most interesting news today, let's go back to Apple and talk about some interesting reports about pricing for the current iPhones and how that paints a picture for pricing next year. It's reported that at least when it comes to direct component costs, the iPhone 15 Pro Max was $558, making it 12% more expensive to build than the iPhone 14 Pro Max that was released in 2022. And it's the highest ever total component cost for an iPhone. Yes, we're talking components, so don't get any ideas as retail pricing of a phone has to include marketing, distribution, etc. Anyway, from 2018 to 2021, the component costs for Apple's Pro Max iPhones range from $400 to $450. In 2022, these costs rose by 20% before reaching the current record high. Notably, the telephoto camera for the iPhone 15 Pro Max now stands at $30, making it 380% an increase over its predecessor, and the titanium frame costs $50, a 43% increase over the previous stainless steel frame. The A17 Pro chip cost $130, a 27% increase over the A16 Bionic chip. Other models in the iPhone 15 lineup also saw cost increases, with the standard iPhone 15 components at $423, which is a 16% increase, the 15 Plus at $442, which is a 10% increase, and the 15 Pro at $523, which is an 8% increase. Now, despite these cost changes, Apple has decided not to raise the retail pricing of its models, at least this year, except for discontinuing the 128GB model of the Pro Max, which means users now have to pay $100 more for that device. And now it seems like these high production costs could impact prices for the iPhone 16 series. The report mentions that if Apple continues to absorb increased production costs, it could lead to Apple potentially raising iPhone retail prices with the launch of next year's iPhone 16 lineup. The report does not mention how much prices will go up or if Cupertino will use the same strategy with the 15 Pro Max, but anyways, in today's question, let us know. Do you think Apple should raise prices for the next generation devices? Because listen, in my case, I honestly think that even if Apple doesn't cheap out, it's hard to justify its base models, particularly getting any more expensive. I get all the benefits in the Pro features for the Pros, so I'm like, probably, I mean, they're trying to compete with cameras more than just being phones, but that's just me. Leave us a comment down below, we'd love to know your opinion. Friends, again, if you want to get the news earlier, follow us on Pocketnow.com and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one. You can also follow us on social media as our extended coverage happens on Instagram, and follow me on my personal handles to see me go to exotic places. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like what you saw. I'm Jaime Rivera. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.